Hey guys, this is Spark Plus Ultra here, and this is What If Deku Had Kurumu Abilities, Part 2. Stay true and caring with others, and I hope you like this video, and hope you subscribe. In the morning, Sumi was walking to UA and going to class 1A, and Sumi then sighs to herself. Man, Kachan is such a quick worrywart. Usually I'm always with him, but he just went off walking to UA without me. And Sumi was walking to UA when she was in her school uniform. And Sumi then sighs and says, I know Kachan is a fan as I am, but I didn't expect him to go to UA this quickly. And Sumi was a little moaning about this. Not as bad, but more out of not surprising. And Sumi then smirks and says, oh well, it's time to get ready to make my intro. And Sumi then gets to class 1A and sees the door. Usually I'm not surprised about the doors, but this one seems abnormally large. When Sumi was opening the door, she then hears Bakugo yelling at someone, having an argument. She then puts a little creak to it and listening to Bakugo. And Sumi says, what is it now? And then she hears another voice. You are violating school policy! And Bakugo says, huh? And Sumi then was confused on what she heard. And the boy with the glasses, when she looked, says, you're putting your legs on your table and disregarding school property. And Bakugo says, what about it? And Ida says, don't you even care about school policy? And then Bakugo then says, did your old school had to stick up their ass? Or is it just you? Because I don't care. And Tenya says, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Tenya Ida. I'm from Somei High. And Sumi then realized, oh crap. And then Bakugo says, Somei, huh? Well, you think you better than me, huh? Well, let me tell you this. Because Katsuki Bakugo is gonna beat the living crap out of you. And Ida says, such unnecessary violence. We're classmates. Are you sure you're really from this school? And Sumi then opens the door and says, excuse me. And then both Ida and Bakugo turn around. And Bakugo then looks at Sumi. And then all the students look at Sumi. And Sumi then sighs and says, hi, my name is Sumi Midoriya. It's great to meet you. And then she looks towards Bakugo and giving him with little stare of disapproval. And Bakugo says, looking at Sumi. And Sumi says, sorry if I intrude, but it's great to meet you all. And then Mineta says, oh man, another beauty with big old cantaloupes. And Sumi then heard that one and tried to get rid of that, what she heard. And then hear someone said, hey, I know that green hair anywhere. Hey, you're the one that saved me. Thanks. And then Sumi then looks and sees the brown-haired girl that she saved from the zero-pointer and says, oh, I recognize you. You were the one that I saved. I didn't get your name. And Chako then says, oh, my name is Ochako Uraraka. And your name? And Sumi says, Sumi Midoriya. And shaking their hands, and Sumi then looks at Ochako, giving a little stare, but giving a good look. And Chako says, what's up? And Sumi says, oh, it's nothing. I'm just saying, looking at you. You look adorable. And Ochako says, huh? And Sumi says, sorry, if that made little surprise at you, but you look so adorable. And giving a little smirk on that, and Machaka says, "Oh, thanks, but I hardly look any beautiful or any adorable than you." And Sumi says, "Yeah, I don't really consider that." And Machaka says, "Huh? What do you mean by..." And then Ida introduced himself. "My name is Tenya Ida. It is great to meet you, and I hope we can..." And Sumi says, "I got it. I heard you say it out loud when Bakugo was on his tantrums." And Ida says, "Oh," and they have a little talk and great explaining and all of it. And then a certain person says, "Huh, well, are you really making too much noise in the hallway?" And then all the students look at a man that was sleeping on the floor and were wondering, who the heck is this guy? And then the man says, "You guys are too loud. Go sit down in your seats." And all the students took it serious and sit down into their seats. And the man then walks and said, "Alright, my name is Shozawa Azawa, and I'm your homeroom teacher." And all the students were a bit shocked, but Sumi then looks at Bakugo, if not hatred, but more of a, why didn't he came over to my house? In a very surprised, but not as a weird gesture, but she never seen him leave without her when they were kids. Even if she didn't use her succubus aphrodisiac, she never used it on him on these occasions, or any occasion on that. So it was actually rare to see him without us taking her to somewhere. And then Zawa says, "Sumi Midoriya," and Sumi says, "Yes, teach." And then Zawa says, "Do you really need me to explain it all again?" And Sumi says, "No, sir." And then Zawa says, "Alright, then get into your PE clothes and go outside, and we're gonna see your quirk examination." And then Chaka says, "Shouldn't we do the preliminary exam?" And then Zawa says, "Yeah, you're right about that, but that's because I do what I want in this classroom. It's my rules." And all the students go into their changing room and get changed into their PE uniforms. And Sumi then takes off her class uniform and gets into her PE uniform, but then she felt her PE clothes not fitting her chest. And Sumi said, "Seriously? They grown again?" And then all the girls were confused on that statement, but not as confused because, well, a girl's hormones and all that shit. I don't want to go into that. So Momo says, "What's the matter? Should we get you a change of size of clothes?" And Sumi says, "Nothing. It's good. I can work with it." And then she sucks her gut in and then pulls it down. And then her chest goes boing, and Momo says, "Wow, you're surprisingly used to this." And Sumi says, "Well, it's mostly due to my quirk, but it's fine. It's not special." And Momo then was wondering what the heck is with her quirk. And all the girls were also confused on what she meant by that. But Jiro gets a little alone because, well, she's the only girl that has a flat chest. And then they got into their PE uniforms and get outside. And Sumi then feels her chest and her body feeling rough wearing these clothes. And girls were wondering if she's gonna be fine with this. And then Zawa then says this, "Alright, it's it's time for you to throw this ball. And then he picks Bakugo because he took first place. And Zao says, throw it as hard as you can, and we'll see how far you get it. And Bakugo says, alright. And Sumi then rolls her eyes and smirks, thinking, yeah, he got this. And then Bakugo then says, die! And throws the ball as far as he can, and he makes it as canon to his original throw. And all the Sims say, wow, this is going to be easy. This is going to be fun. And all the Sims were getting excited, but then Zao says, you say this is going to be fun. This is going to be easy, huh? Well, let's make a bet. If one of you gets last place, then you are expelled, suspended from UA. And all the Sims were shocked and say, hey, you can't do that. You worked hard to get in here. And Zao explains that to the Sims that they weren't the only ones that worked just as hard. And then says, alright, do your best and don't hold anything back. And then her tail comes out, a demonic-like imp of a tail, and her wings spread out from her backside of her clothes. And Sumi then says, well, now you know. And then she gets ready to use her quirk. And this is going to be hard to deal with because, well, in Rosary Vampire, there aren't many speed feats. It just doesn't really give a good clear cut on how speed is. But I can take a rough estimate. My best guess is that some of the Rosary Vampires could react fast as supersonic speed, coming to Mach 1. And this is a rough estimate. And from one of the season episode of season 2, we can get a good estimate on Mocha's sister, who could outpace a speeding bullet train, which is one of the fastest things in human history. Which, I know it's not her running, but pedaling a bike that fast, outpacing a freaking bullet train, is actually really impressive than most can say. So, we could take an easy estimate that she could probably break to Mach 2 or Mach 3 with ease. And she could literally do it with no problem. And we have her doing a cycle in season 1, nearing to the end of the episode, which she could do it with ease. So it's most likely that she could go even faster than she can usually go. So I would probably place her somewhere to... And she was clearly faster than that. So I would put her somewhere to a hypersonic range. I mean, it ain't too far. So Zumi would take somewhere to, I don't know, 4th place? Because it's my low ball, but it's a very hard to place this one, because they don't really show my feet. But flying? Oh yeah, she doesn't even need to jump. But strength? That one is simple, so I would say 5,000 tons, or 1,000 tons. So her strength is pretty good, but how her throw? I would say she takes 3rd on the throwing, because she's strong, but nowhere close to full brink of near Bakugo's level, or Chaco's on that. So I would say she ranks up to, I guess, 6th place, because her quirk is more reliable on trickery or something else. And for agility, she made a cyclone with little to no ease, even without her wings moving for a bit. Like, she moved it for a couple of seconds, and I would say she would take 2nd. And Mineta was in last, and he wasn't expelled, it was just a lie. And then all the girl students were circling around on Zumi and wondering what the quirk is like. But Sumi then says, I guess I can tell you the other day. But first, can we get my old clothes back, please? And feeling her PE uniform getting a little tighter. And all the girls get into and change into their normal gear. And then Sumi then next day explains what her quirk is. She explains that her quirk, succubus, allows her to have an appearance of, well, a succubi, a female version. And she can basically grow her wings and has a tail. But she doesn't explain about her illusions or the other stuff. But like one certain one, that her body gets really mature real fast. Like her bust size will turn A, then B, then C on age growth. And all the girls then think that is a nightmare. And Sumi then agrees on that. But it's not as bad as it is to deal with. Unless you have a mom also have a quirk like that. But when they were done gossiping, then a certain person comes out and says, "Don't worry, because I am here, walking through the door." And all the students were excited to see All Might, the number one hero, to appear. And all of them were excited. And All Might explains that they are gonna do, now you can create your hero gear and get ready to do a exam. And okay, all of the UA Class 1A are changing into their gear. And Sumi is wearing a, here's the thing. Rosary Vampire tends to go into a sexy moment and all that crap, but this is a succubi, so it makes sense. So I'll mix it with her maid style from one of her episodes, where she looks as hot as hell, merging with somewhat of a manga dress from her manga appearance, making it a bit of blackish and a bit of a Gathita look, making her look very beautiful in a certain way. And Sumi then walks out and looks at her dress, and seeing her hero gear, I think this works out pretty well. And Sumi then walks out, and Choco then says, "Whoa, you look so beautiful! That hero gear really does suit you." And Sumi says, "Oh, it's nothing. I was just trying to make it very easy to move and not pad down my chest." And Chaka says, "I hear that, but my hero gear is a little revealing." And Sumi then says, "Please, yours I would take any day." And both laugh and chuckled a bit. And then Nana bees the perv out of all time, like looking at all the girls, except for Jiro. Poor Jiro. But he then looks at Zoom. "I think I found the mountains." And then he daydreams. And Sumi then finally had it with him and says, "Wake up!" and kicks him in the head and knocking the hell out of him. And Sumi says, "I had it enough with that." And Chaka says, "Looks like you have a mean streak." And Sumi says, "No, it's not that." And she walks with a very angered look on her face, a very dislike with Manada. Then all the students gather around to hear All Might choose the teams. And All Might has put Hero Team versus Villain Team. And Sumi and Bakugo are basically Villain Team. And Achako and Ida are Hero Team. And Sumi says, "Looks like we're villains this time, Kachan." And giving a little fun smirk with Bakugo. And Bakugo then looks away and says, "Shut it, she succubi. I'm going. Nope, we're not doing that. And Sui then blocks him off. And Bakugo says, why are you getting in my way, succubi? And Sui says, now I know we're villains, but we need a strategy. Why don't you move ahead of me? And Bakugo then pushes Sui back, not as ruthless, but gentle, and then forgot about one thing. Damn it! Bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. His heart then beats fast, and Sui says, Kachan, you know you are aware of my quirk. And Bakugo then says, damn it! Fine! What is your plan? And Sui then says, oh, that's easy. Explaining the plan to him, and Bakugo then smirks and says, you are devious. It's time to die, heroes. And that's where I'm ending this video. I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. See you next time, Plus Ultra.